Hi everyone, my name is Anna. Today I will be sharing my experience with Tara. This is not a friend's review. I did not know her for a long time or anything like that. I actually just recently met her. We went out for a coffee date and I've gotten to know her a little bit. Let me tell you a little bit about Tara, what she does. She does quantum healing hypnosis. And hypnosis, in my opinion, is a very strong word. If you look up the definition of hypnosis, it just means a different state of awareness. So she helps you get into a different state of awareness where you could receive information better. All the information is coming to you. She said even those people who never naturally see pictures or can't really visualize or don't have vivid dreams, it doesn't matter. She said everyone that sees her sees something. So that is her gift. She guides you into a different state of awareness with questions. She invites your higher you to show you and to guide you. I always look for confirmation inside before I actually sign up for something like this. This was way out of my comfort zone to do something like this. Basically, if you are stuck somewhere in life, which I was, because I was stuck in so many places, the eagerness to heal my spirituality was pretty high. I was willing to give this a shot. When you do something like this, you could remember a moment or remember your life on other planets and who you are. Not only remember them, but you could also relive some of those moments. So during the session, she asks you to describe everything that you're seeing. And I'm thinking how in the world that you could go almost in a dream state, relive a moment or remember a moment in a past life or even in this life. How does that work and be conscious enough to describe everything that you're seeing? We went out for a coffee date. That night I went to bed and I had this dream where I'm laying in my camper right here and I have my kitty that was just recently born running up and down my black tights. She, in my dream, I believe it was her higher you, came and asked me to comment what I'm seeing, to describe what I'm seeing. She took me to a very beautiful moment that happened on this earth, and I was literally reliving that moment that happened on this earth. And she asked me to comment. I was conscious enough in that moment to describe what I'm seeing. And that moment actually happened 2 weeks prior to this dream. And then I wake up and I'm like, wow, she is truly gifted. And that's how you can go back into your past life and remember something from other planets, not just from this earth. That's how it works. For me, that was confirmation inside that yes, she is gifted and it's okay to try her. But I believe that everyone should look for confirmation inside first before they do something like this. So she said that her sessions are 5 to 6 hours, and at first I was like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't have that kind of patience. But the moment I walked in, it was like she hypnotized me from the start. The whole session actually went very, very fast. As soon as I walked in, she offered if I wanted some tea. I said yes, and she brings me chamomile lavender, and chamomile lavender is my favorite tea. She didn't ask me what kind of tea I wanted, she just brought that. And I'm like, oh wow, cool, it's already going the right direction. So the first part of the session was questions. I brought my own questions. I probably had around 50 questions. So she printed out those questions and she didn't look at them yet. And what she did, she actually kind of digged into my life, into important areas in my life to see if there is any, to see if there's any trauma. And then when she was digging and asking me questions, yes, the whole session, actually, the first section of the section felt very therapeutic. I felt a little bit uncomfortable because I have never told anyone such traumatized details before. It was very unnatural for me. The whole session was about me, and she was extremely thorough with the questions, and I felt like she really got into the spots where I was holding trauma. There's a couple things that I did not add into my question list, but because of her digging and asking around, we added a couple things to the question list that were kind of important. And then the second portion of the session was hypnosis, which I believe took about 2.5 hours. So when I brought those questions, I didn't expect all of them to be answered because I have a lot of issues. And I knew that some of those questions can take a long time to get through. She was not only very thorough, I got the sense that she took her job extremely seriously and was very educated. I have considered doing a session like this with other YouTubers, but when I read her website and I looked at her YouTube channel, her style really resonated with me. I really liked what she wrote on her website and made a lot of sense to me, and it was similar to how I understood the spiritual world. Once she put me under hypnosis, what I didn't expect is for my body to resist so much. Naturally, your body does not want to go in your mind where trauma is. We know that if we go there, we'll feel so uncomfortable and it will be painful. One of the reasons why you would want to try hypnosis, because naturally you'll never focus there, you'll never want to go there, but that trauma needs to be resolved because subconsciously it could still affect you and you can affect others around you. You project your hurt on other people subconsciously without even realizing it. Now, if I could do the session over again, what I would do differently is trust more. I felt like it was very unnatural for me to let go in front of her, something I did not realize until I was on there, that I was resisting. I didn't know that I'm gonna cry like a baby. I didn't know. I didn't know that. But yes, I did go to places, and she did take me to places where trauma was and to places where I have never resolved or dealt with that trauma. I just didn't have time to grieve it. And then I also did not expect to resist so much. It was hard for me to receive information, and I constantly kept on saying, in between questions, like, I don't see anything, I see nothing. So if I can do it again, I would mentally prepare myself to, it's okay to cry, like a baby. Thank God it was only an audio recording and not a video recording. Yes, you do get an audio recording of your whole session that you can, revisit later. So she said there's two types of people. One type where they're kind of aware of the whole hypnosis and what's coming in and they remember all of it. Second type is where they go completely under, kind of like they fall asleep. But they do comment on everything that they see. They do respond to her questions, and then later they, wake up and are surprised that the session is over and there's a whole audio recording of them, talking and receiving information. But the most common type is where both of those happen. So, and you'll see this on her YouTube channel. For most people, it will be both, where you can zone out and then where you could be, aware. For me, I thought I was aware of the whole thing. Later, when I rewatched my recording, I couldn't believe that I forgot so many things, and at first I didn't remember even saying some of those things, but later I did start remembering. It's like when you really listen to that recording, it's like a trigger to you, and you start remembering that, yeah, you did saw that, and you remember the pictures that you saw that, but you could easily forget that happened. All the answers that I received really resonated with me. They made a lot of sense, and I found a lot of peace. What was happening in my mind during hypnosis? I was really hoping to relive a memory on a different planet or in a past life. But I think my body was resisting so much, it was hard to me to get into that state of awareness. I don't believe your higher you will give you an answer that you can't handle. So, and I also believe it's very intelligent. If it does answer something, it will break it down slowly, because some of the information could be pretty intense. So during hypnosis, most of the stuff that I was receiving was actually, I was remembering my dreams that I have forgotten. So it's taking me there. And then I was seeing pictures as well, and kind of in a video form, like they were live, 2-3 seconds of a video or a memory. And then I was receiving a lot of knowledge as well, like information started pouring in. I didn't have any smells, which can happen too. I didn't really have, that's during hypnosis. I did not have any, past life memories. I didn't hear any voices. I didn't hear like a woman's voice or a man's voice. Or what I did receive was surprisingly a lot of emotion that was unresolved. So feelings. Some people don't get answers in feelings. Some people just get answers in pictures or or like a memory or a chunk of memory. My recommendation is to completely let go, and it's okay to trust. Make sure you get that confirmation from God, or Holy Spirit that you're good to go, and then you just need to fully trust. If you sign up for this, you need to fully trust her. And because you already received, into your mind, you already received confirmation from God. She's there to help you, not to hold things in, no matter what the information is. Everything is confidential, and obviously you get a whole recording at the end, which was awesome. After the session, she warned me that you might feel a little drained, and that it's better not to schedule anything strenuous because of all the healing and trauma coming up. People sometimes could feel a little drained, and that's exactly what I did. Immediately after the session, when she took me out of hypnosis, I was kind of in shock, I guess, basically thinking, what the heck just happened? And so your mind tries to process what happens. So you're trying to analyze all the information that you received, and basically that's how the rest of my evening was. I was just analyzing. It was just a lot. It's a lot to deal with. One other thing that she said that I didn't think anything of at first, she said that in the next 3 days or so, your higher you will open up to you in a completely different way. I realized that, we didn't get to all of my questions, and I didn't expect to get to all of my questions. I had a lot of questions. What I didn't expect is that on day 2 at night, I heard this voice, and it was a very serious voice. It was a woman's voice, and she was like, "I didn't die," like that. And I don't speak that way, normally. But later I realized that was my higher you, and she was answering one of my questions. One of my questions was what happened in the basement, what was the cause. I had severe heart problems and multiple heart attacks, a couple years ago, and I was trying to really dig in and figure out what was the cause of that. Quite a few times where I felt like I may have died. So one of my questions was how many times I died in that room. And so when she came to me 2 days later, and that's the question that we didn't get a chance, to answer during hypnosis. She started that conversation basically in that sense, saying, I didn't die. And I'm like, who is this? It was an unfamiliar woman's voice. She was very serious. And then later information started coming in that she was answering that question about that room, I'm like, okay. I'm like, I didn't die, then, what happened then? She sends me a vivid picture, number 16, and she said that I almost died 16 times in that room. All night long, she was answering questions in a very vivid like dream, and in a way that she would describe things that I would use words that I've never used, so that I knew my mind was not making that up. The answers that I got made a lot of sense. She went into extreme detail on what was the cause, and even gave me some information to look up on the internet. She actually, for the next couple days, she was answering all the questions that we didn't get to, and she was answering some of those questions in extreme detail, so that I'm at peace with some of those things that happened to me, so that I could heal and put them behind. I'll be making a part 2 where what was revealed to me after the hypnosis. After all my questions were answered, I've noticed all kinds of miracles started happening to me on a physical level, as far as like if something was hurting, I could immediately heal myself supernaturally, and if not immediate, it would be healed at night. And this particular event was before the hypnosis, but one day I woke up and my heart was vibrating. Like, I felt like my heart was coming out of my body, and I'm like, what is going on? And immediately I started receiving information with pictures and stuff that they are working and healing my heart. I'm like, awesome. Because previously, I had pretty severe heart issues in that basement. Miracles like that. I've noticed that I could predict my cats and what they're about to do. I could see them. I could see pictures and they're about to do. For example, one of my cats, the kitty, his name is Bear, because he looked like a bear when he was just born, and he's bold like a bear. He is actually very bold and very smart, and the biggest troublemaker in the world. But anyways, for example, just one tiny example, but this happened so many times where I could predict what he's about to do or what he wants to do. And not only him, but also the mama cat, Lucky is her name. So one night I don't like when he jumps at me in the middle of the night. If it wakes me up and freaks me out. So I just put an intent out that I don't like that. And then one night I could see him, in my dream, or I don't know if that was telepathic communication, jumping, like he started jumping at me. I immediately opened my eyes or wake up, and he's literally halfway point, jumped at me. That prevented me from from freaking out. So things like that. So telepathic communication with my cats just really opened up to me, and all kinds of miracles, all kinds of supernatural things that completely blew me away and spiraled me into a different direction in my life, and it completely changed my life. Thanks for listening.